Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. This is a day in the office, February 2nd, 2026. Yep, 2026, at approximately 3:27 p.m. PST. Now, I always tell people I'll be on by 4. I am on till 5. But this is literally just me puttering around the office, getting things done, which works out kind of conveniently most of the time. So, we are here again. And what are we looking at? Well, I always got to start off with the obvious thing. And I don't have that there. I should have that. So I'm going to do something I don't often do. I'm going to walk in here. This is the door that you don't actually see behind me. But it is the one I've got to get to get the garbage. So, pop that up there out of the way. And what do we got here? Eternity Eternal, how you doing? You are in with the gold. Right behind you is Operation Shutdown. How's it going? How's it going, Eternity? I hope things are going well. You know, it's really nice seeing things start to pop. As a matter of fact, I should find out how well they're doing. If we go here just to take a look at it, because I'm hoping we are starting to build, actually. What do we got? There we are. And that's, yeah, we're sitting at 717, which is nice. Now let's stick around on here. Oh, Operation Shutdown. First and foremost, you're more than welcome for answering the question, regarding my answering the question. If you've got other ideas, definitely drop me a line. I will do my best to get to them. The reason I quit working the psychic lines was because the company I was working for closed. Like, it shut the doors entirely. And yes, I did see it coming about 5 years ahead of time, and being a procrastinator, I managed to postpone doing anything about it. Oh, where are we here? You know, so all in all, and in case I missed it there, Operation, or in case you did, I'm not sure which, you came in with the silver. You know, but yeah, it was literally, they closed the doors, so I quit working for them. Something about the fact that they quit paying me, because they didn't send me any calls. In any event, I am starting to actually move things forward. And do I have anything in here? Not right now. Last one was, okay, that's been answered. So, let's see what we got going on here. These are all cards. This is all stuff that's got to be shredded after the fact. I'm just not going to be emptying it until I actually get done this particular stream. But that said, I will certainly make and get all the stuff set to go. Should have picked that up while I was out. Now, where are we here? Okay. Oh, there's that binder. I do have to lock that down. Now, what are we? That one's paid, so that's good. Okay. Let's take a look at what we're dealing with. We are now in February 2nd, which is a real nice setup. What is this? Okay, this paperwork I've got to get out of there and over there. Put this back where it belongs. I mutter to myself a lot. You know, I was looking at it, and let me get that other file up and running because I'm going to require it. What do we got here? This one here. Whoop. Let's do that so I don't have to worry about it. Pop that over there. See, when I'm going through paperwork and what, like receipts and what have you, did this say nope? Okay. Did not save a plug nickel on that, so that's okay. Sometimes you don't. So that all gets shredded afterwards. Now, in the meantime, honestly, Operation, it was enjoyable. You met an awful lot of people, an awful lot of new people. But the thing I enjoyed most was the people that came back to me and said, thank you very much. It worked. Okay. And it's amazing how many times I talk to people and the number of them that would tell me that nothing you said, nothing you ever said happened. I want another reading. I'm looking at them going, you've got to be kidding me. Because I'm thinking, if I got a reading from somebody and nothing happened, I sure as heck wouldn't be going back to get another one. Something about just not appreciating spending money on something that didn't pay off. So I just came to understand that they didn't necessarily like what I told them. But I'm not about to lie to them and make them feel better either. But all in all, it did provide me with an opportunity to earn a living doing what I do. Mike Jones, how you doing? You are in with the bronze. Hopefully your day is going well. Mine's been kind of on the productive side. Let's see here. Okay. That goes back in the file folder where it belongs. Realistically, I should. There we are. Take that, open it up to its actual size, and cut down on the length of time it stays folded. There. See, the thing is, if you're going to make sure that your place is running properly, you got to keep on top of it. Oh, there we go. Now, the nice little part, from my standpoint, it really boils down to this. While you're getting your life in order, you've got to stay on top of it. If you don't, you're bound and determined you're going to have a problem. It's IGA. Now, did I leave that open? I did not. Of course I didn't leave that file open. I require it open. Because, nope, not there. Okay, open. Empire 2026. And we go to debt. And that's how we do that. Okay. Second, I save a staggering okay. Gotta start paying that stuff back, but I gotta wait. Now, go back to here. There we are. Now, once you figure out what you're up to, okay, the trick is to stay on top of it. So, let's see what we got. Yes, I was working first thing this morning. So, of course, the thing is, I clear my desk at night. The first thing in the morning, I fill it right back up again doing work in the office. Something about writing several dozen books all at once. Now, that is, okay, that goes for the, we should think about English. What do you figure? Believe in your business and following your dreams. Believe in your finances. There's believe in yourself. And this one here is believe in your success. Now, here's the neat part. These are all parts of a bigger picture. When I get all of the parts written, I will then turn it into a full-size book covering the whole 9 yards and then some. I was just talking to a young lass today that wants me to bring the physical copy of all the books down because I've got 9 of them now, and she'll pick and choose what she desires. So we'll see how that goes. These two can go back in the inventory line. That's believe in your business, believe in your finance. So, believe in your business goes there. And that's believe in your finances, so it goes there. And then we get these ones. Mr. Dreamcatcher and Mr. Dreamcatcher Returns. It just dawned on me where I might be able to find the other one, which is really nice and there. But I will do that after the stream. There we go. Again, this boils down to taking a look at the office and going, what is sitting there? Okay, now we have January 25th. I don't know if that's there, but that's got to be checked. These are ones I have to check today, but they get checked after I get done stream, after I get done with the day in the office. Because if I don't organize them, I'm in serious trouble. Now, okay, that works out rather well. We pop that there and put the pencil up where it belongs. Keep the stuff, like everything in my office has a location it's supposed to fit. Okay, and I do that because I will tell you, the more streamlined your business, your office is, whether you're running a house or you're running a business, doesn't matter. You still require the organization. Now, remember I said everything is connected? This little stone is called malachite. Okay, you notice it's green and black coloring. There you go. Okay, now that one of the qualities is it tends to attract finances. So I keep it in my cash box. So that goes in there, and we sit quite nicely. Now, again, guys, if you've got a question, I don't care what the topic is, pop it into the chat room in all caps. That way I can actually find the thing. Now, that's paper that I've got to use for that binder there, which is the project binder. This gets set back on the scratch. And here we have stuff that I've got to check. Okay. What's this? Okay. Oh. Okay, I've got to make a note of those. Now, what are these? Whoop, that's already torn, so it's already been done. What I'm doing here, because I've had a bunch of paperwork up front, but I reutilize the back side of every sheet to ensure, that I'm recycling what I can. And now I just tear it in half to make sure I don't have to go through it again. That's got to be added. Gonna definitely have to look at those. Now, this one here, that's the journals. We'll have to do more of that tomorrow. I don't think we'll get time today. We might. My wife and I may well get time to do some of the transcription of my daily journal. I don't honestly know if I did any today, if I actually wrote a new one. But what I do know is I am keeping a lot more organized than I was. Now, this, gotta decide what to do with that. This one here is inner voice expansion, so that goes in the top drawer. You know it's inner voice because of where it's sitting, but there. That's how that sits. Now, of course, because of that, let's see. Okay. Mike Jones, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Actually, I think I said that already. Ann Conley, hi, how are you? By the way, if I mispronounce something, understand I seem to be about 3/4 blind right about now. I'm still waiting until the end of the month. Well, that destroyed that. I'm still waiting till the end of the month to get my eyes checked. Because, well, frankly, that's when the eye appointment is. So I will be getting replacement glasses in order to accommodate that. It's just annoying right now that I actually can't see very well. It really is like, I look at it this way. I didn't have my license taken away. I've still got my license, but I voluntarily gave my car away to my son because of the fact that, well, in 3 years I had driven less than 10,000 kilometers. He covered that in 6 months. So we're making pretty good headway from that end. Immigration now in my house is going very well. Okay, we finally got paperwork started on that, so that always works out nicely. That's all done. That stuff, that's the cards I require for the other part of it. Now, where do we go from here? Well, I really should take a look at that side of it. So, now, Joe Stewart, how you doing? Glad you could join us. The nice part is I am actually in here now. Like, I've got it down to a reasonable routine where I literally am back in the office by 4 o'clock PST. Sometimes I get here a little earlier, which I'm not upset about by any functional stretch. But because of the fact I'm doing it the way I am, I'm actually making headway. What's behind me here? Okay. This here was the amount. It did not save me a plug nickel. So it gets shredded along with the other one. I only keep receipts long enough myself to ensure I get them dealt with. For the moment, just in case I need them, we'll pop those there. I gotta find out where to put them. Pencils go up in my pencil bucket. Pen right now I keep there. And what have I got? What is this? Oh, that's the bank card that I owe the bank info. I wanted to find out why the heck I'm still getting. But I haven't been back to the bank yet. So that is there. Now, take those. Okay. This is that neat little satchel I take with me every time I go someplace. Not exactly a fanny pack, or a belt pouch, but it works like an absolute charm to keep things in order. So I hang that up there. It does put things on the right track. Now, this said, that just organized my house completely, my office completely once again. Like I said, I cleared the deck at night before I pack it in. And as soon as I get up in the morning, I end up filling it up again. So, what am I looking at here? We go to there. And just on principle, we refresh it. And we're still sitting there. That's okay. Now, that's all organized. Wonder if I've got that. I wonder. Way over here. Whoops. That is over here. Okay, that's a bonus. See, a number of years ago, I bought, a number of years ago, I came across a phenomenal price on wrapping paper. Now, the thing is, wrapping paper itself can be really pricey, especially if you wait till Christmas. This particular year, it was on for like 25 cents a roll at the end of the season. So I picked a whole sheep load of it up probably a decade ago at this point. I'm still working on it. Still working on eliminating it. But this is one of those things about realizing where finances are sitting. So now what I've got, offices sorted around, I really have to, let's take a look. Now, inventory. Should really take a look at that. Let's see. If we go to now. Okay. Didn't do that. So let's do this. Let's take a current inventory. Okay. What is all that? I'll have to go through that, but if I get tied up with that, I'm going to lose track of where I am. So what I do instead is grab this. You know me and my list. The reality is, for anybody, having a list put together works out really well. So all of that is done quite well. We don't have anything booked there. Did I end up? Well, I gotta go through that anyway, but let's take a peek. Okay. September. These ones I have to check. Persistence. The first stack of these are simply the journals I was doing that I write on a daily basis. So I make absolutely certain that I have them and I've got them ready to go and before I tear them in half. We'll take a look at those. Take a look at that. Okay, those are the ones I have to check. Now, did we have... I really do need the extra monitor so I can actually see what's going on, because otherwise I'll run into a bit of a problem. But, let's make a note of what I gotta get to. Got that one. Okay, got what I required from Shoppers, got it from the grocery store, talked to Sue this morning, got the office sorted out. Okay, now, I've got a bunch of stuff here that I'm working on. Of course, tonight, let's just make sure we get that right. We go File, Open, and we take a look at IBE Evolution. Okay, tonight is Monday. We will be looking at finances tonight, a truth behind saving. Okay, this is literally the same tool I use. Okay, which reminds me of a few things. And then Tuesday we'll be looking at how to move forward. Then I go on my weekend. That doesn't mean I rest or relax or anything like that. Where did I put it? That really is a good question. There. Okay. Now we take a peek at that side of it. We go down to, let's see, not sleep. I want to desire to take a look at sleep, all right. Yeah, today, let's see, got up and went to bed at 10 o'clock last night, was back up by 1 o'clock this morning, and then grabbed another 3 hours from 3:30 to 6:30. This put me on track with only 4 hours of sleep today. By the end of the night, I'll get an extra one in all likelihood, but we'll see how that works. Oh, why, pray tell, did that happen now? See, yesterday I had 1, 3.5, 4.5, 5. Yeah, I slept 7 hours last night, like on the night of the 1st. And 1, 3, 4 hours on the 31st. And 3.5, 4.5. Oh, 7.5. So it really does alter on a regular basis here. What was that? That 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we got 1, 3.5, 4.5, 5. That becomes 7. And February 2nd, I haven't gotten to yet. So let's see if we've got anything here. Because Saturday, alien wise. Okay. Alien wise, we got to deal with that. Monday will be finances. And what are we going to look at here? Oh, okay. I think that's a good one. Think on Monday we are going to take a look at financial manipulation. Explain to people how to make it work. Because I will tell you, I know with immigration, they're going to ask me how I've been managing to support my wife. Right. Well, I've been doing it for 6 months without any assistance from the government, without any more assistance. So we're just looking at pushing things and making it happen. So, Monday. But if you've got an idea, as to what you feel would be a good topic, okay, regarding the alien side of things, absolutely let me know. Okay. Because we haven't got anything dealt with there. Now, what I could do is pop Frontier Friday and on Saturday, but I'm thinking that is not necessarily a good idea. So, those are all from a social standpoint. Oh, what do we got? Tuesday, self-help. Oh, I think self-help, this would be really handy. So we'll take that. And we go cut that one out. And we pop that into Tuesday. And we go paste. Okay. So, with regards to the setup here, okay, I've got this week, aside from the topic I desire to cover regarding aliens on Friday the 13th. And by the way, Friday the 13th is not actually a bad set. It's not a bad day. If it weren't for the 13th, I wouldn't be here at all. That's just the reality behind that. Okay. What is that? Impact 2026. Oh, April. That is not where I require it. We're way back up here in February. No, last January. Don't know how that works. Oh, you idiot. Love when I scramble my brain. Okay, that's one of the drawbacks here. Now, here we are. Okay. Joe, I have fabulous dreams about Christmas written down in my dream book. And yeah, I used to have fun at Christmas time with my family. Um, you know, Now, I got a question for you, Joe. And this is real early, but I'm starting to look at it myself. Just take the entirety of the past. Let's just write the past off. You can't do a thing to change it anyway. And this is way too early, so I'm not going too far down the rabbit hole. I refuse, literally refuse, to watch Christmas movies, listen to Christmas music, you know, do anything in the way of that side of it until December 1st. But I did find, now last year for us was really, really sketchy. Mike goes, and Mike Jones is asking, any correlations between space events and Star Wars as a topic for Friday or Saturday? That actually is a brilliant idea. There is definitely some connections there. Now, and I think that's an excellent topic. So, Mike, I'm going to take that from you. I'm going to take that idea and I'm going to move over here. Now, whoop, I gotta go to the other one. That one. Okay, that will be Saturday the 7th. Let's see what we got. Perfect. That fills in Friday, and Mike, thanks. Oops, gotta deal with that. Like I said, I'm going to make certain I mark off who comes up with the idea. Because, the reality is, this is not just me that puts this information together. Like, the idea is, sorry, that's something that I rely on other people for a lot of the time. Okay. Whoop. Between space events and Star Wars. Okay, I wrote that down wrong, but yes. Let's get back in there. And let's just double check that between. There we are. There we are. There we are. Trying to figure out where the heck my cursor is. There we are. There we are. The similarities between space and between space events and Star Wars. Okay, that is what we will cover on Saturday. It saves me like this is the thing. I figure if I get people to say, "Hey, this is what I'd like to know about." Hey, Jago, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Basically, the short answer in a day in the office, I am laying out and implementing a physical plan to co-create an empire. And yes, the nervous system that gets built between the over the internet through YouTube, through the different YouTube channels that I've got, okay, or streamlines I've got, is the network that I'm using to increase the communication lines between peoples around the world on a positive nature. Okay. And the reality is, I see so much where people talk about, oh, everything's going wrong and so much, there's so much garbage going on in the world. I came to the conclusion that it was time to really sort things around and decide what we were going to do with it. Okay, so what I'm doing there, what we are doing is I'm looking for input, ideas that we can implement. Now, what I talk about is literally the things I personally am doing to alter the path I'm on. Now, what do we got here? What I'm writing, this is my list message. I write it down and then I go about and make it happen. Let's see. What was that? Oh, diet plans, exercise, and journal. Okay. Okay, I do believe Oh, those were all by Philip. There we go. See, the nice part about it, these topics I'm writing down here solve me a whole lot of hassle of trying to figure them out. Now, that takes care of that. We've got topics to double check there. I can sit up there out of the way. And with that in mind, we're doing good. Where are we here? 408. See, the neat part about it is this forces me, or more to the point, dedicates time for me to literally make certain that I'm getting things done to get the business running properly. Now, let's take a look in this file here. We go for expansion here. What's that? Yep. Do that. That way I can go through that file and make sure I get everything updated. So, now what are we looking at here? Okay. This particular binder, nope. How pray tell did I do with it? Right there. Nope, that is not it. Wonder what I did with it. Okay. That's just scrap. Where is the binder that's supposed to be? Okay, I'm going to have to step up front for a half a minute. I don't usually do that, but I don't have a lot of luck. So I will be right back. Okay, well, sorry about the delay there, guys. Sad reality is I'm missing a binder that I want, that I desire to have. Okay, who did I miss here? Okay, where are we here? Okay, gotta read that. DeClincy, how we doing? Oh, okay, now let's scroll up because I missed a few. This is what happens when I walk out. I missed a whole pile. But I am glad to see people are still interacting. Now we got that. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's that. Kelsey, how you doing? Glad you could join us. And if I'm mispronouncing your name, it's simply because I can't actually read it. And that's not your fault. That's the fact that my eyes are failing. So, it is, things are coming along nicely here. It's just kind of an annoyance for me. But I've already got an appointment set up to deal with it. That's for the end of this month. Now, pumpkins, what we got? Pumpkin Pears, how you doing? Glad to see you. This is nice. What I'm seeing here is more and more people coming in. The reality is it's going to be by working with you guys, by interacting with you, I come up with new ideas or you come up with new ideas. And we figure out how working together we can build an empire that is working. Okay. And that's just the reality behind it. What do we got? Any questions? Oh, Kelsey, how we? Yeah, you've got a Euro trip coming up. Nice. Yeah, myself, I don't travel a lot. I sort of have to experience travel via other people, or hop on the astrological train. And where are we? Out of Australia. Nice. Myself, I actually was born in, was actually born in Mission, BC. Mission, BC. I believe it was Mission, but I was raised in Comox, BC, on Vancouver Island. There's a neat thing over in Australia. One day I may go. I would love to see that Great Red Rock, but I don't know if you can even get to it anymore. The one right smack in the middle of the continent. Yeah. Now, that said, okay, I've got a bunch of stuff there sorted around, but what I don't know. Oh, wait a minute, let me got that. I was looking for that. Don't you just love it when you've got a binder, you know it's around and shadow eats it? So let us see what we've got going on here. Now that I found what I was looking for, I can now operate functionally. So we take a look at this, and that's the expansion. So, see what has to stay in there. Those are protector sheets. They can stay, they don't actually have to stay in that folder. So let's put them in with the paper file. Or in a paper setup. That can be right there. That's for, oh, that's because it's not in there. Copyright. Okay. Pop those in there so I can keep my desk relatively clear. And what is this? More divider protectors. So again, we bring it back here and we take a look at what we're working with. File it. The more organized you are, the easier your life is going to run. It's just that simple. So, where are we? Did I miss something here? Yeah, I used to live years ago, Pumpkin. I used to live in Barrie, Ontario. Only for a few months, but it was right over the dead of winter. That was enough. Where are we here? Did I see somebody come in here? Nope. Myself, I don't watch the Grammys, but do understand I haven't had regular TV in almost 20 years. One of the things I look at as I'm building this, as I'm building the backbone here, is how to tie it all together. You know, and the reality is, so many people get caught up with one little problem. How do I? And this is something we'll be covering in a couple of days on positive perceptions. Um, one of the things that I look at is this. You know, so many people, myself included, can really get caught up in what's gone on before. And for me, that led to 4 years of severe depression. Now I'm looking at my life going, I'm no longer content with the way it's going, so I'm correcting it. Or more to the point, I'm altering the way it is. And what is this? Don't require that anymore. Like I said, I've got file folders full of stuff I don't require. And if it doesn't add up for me, then I don't see the point in keeping it around anymore. Now, what is this? Here we are. This is all information that I have regarding setting up a business. A number of years ago, I took a business course in town here. Okay, let's pop in here. Okay, Pumpkin, here we are. Pumpkin is asking, just a reminder, guys, if you've got a question for me, absolutely put it in all caps so I can find the thing. But I'll do my best here. Now, Pumpkin is asking, hey Keith, are you married or have you ever been married before? Number one, this is my second marriage. So yes, I am married. Okay. I've only been married since August 14th of this year for the second time. The first marriage, we kept the marriage together for 16 years. Okay. 18 years including dating. This one we've been married for almost 6 months. Well, it'll be 6 months in a week and a bit. On the 14th of February, it'll be 6 months we've been married. Okay, but we've been together for 5 years, all going on 5.5. Okay, so now, hey, Roblox, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Now, it depends on what part of my story you're looking for. I mean, that is complicated, to say the least. I do remember past lives. So I've got 18 or 20 past lives I've actually documented, some of which I will freely talk about. Others cause way too many questions. I just won't talk about them. At least not to people I don't specifically clearly know. Okay, but this lifetime, I've spent my entire life working as an active psychic. I'm now a published author and specialist in UFO species, species, cultures, technologies. I am not an expert. I do not know it all. I just happen to find a whole pile of things I did piece together. Okay, where are we here? Scrolling down, there we are. Now, today, I'm just on Friday, no, yeah, on Friday, I just got my ninth book into print, specializing um, in self help, alien reference, children's books, and science fiction, science fantasy. For any of the books and the consulting, as well as the free magazine that I put out called Positive Perspectives, you go to the link at the top of the screen. It says buymeacoffee.com/innervoicej. Go there, you can order any of them online or arrange contact. I also, I'm not proud, I'm quite willing to accept money. Okay, so we've got it set up so that you can also buy me a coffee. Every little bit helps. Understand, I am on disability and CPP, and that is it. Okay, but what I am looking, one of the things that I look at is this. I take a look at it and go, I look at, say, a chap I'm sure you know, Colonel Sanders. He opened his first chicken stand at 65. And 3 months, maybe four after he opened, he shut the doors because people wouldn't do exactly what he said. A month later, he opens it again under a new name. Now, Kentucky Fried Chicken is the only name that I know of. I don't know what he had in the first place. What I do know is here it is several decades later, and he's a household name. I'm only 63, so I'm just getting started, and I've still got 2 years before I hit the 65 mark. Like, I'll be 63 in May. And with that in mind, I intend on pushing the limit. No, in all fairness, Pumpkin, I only work, like, I literally only work with, I work with text. I've got an iPhone, so I don't even know what the thing is called. Don't even know where the phone. Oh, there's the phone. Yeah, see, the phone number that's listed is an active phone number, and I have no problem talking to people. But I will tell you, if you're planning on phoning me, I do tend to answer the phone. But if I don't know who people are, I tend to keep things pretty short. One of the nice little things about it is, from my standpoint, Tech and I do not get along well, which is why I don't tend to do things. Now, what are we here? Things are moving. I got to give Dave Scott credit. He runs 3 or 4 different uh, chat streams at once and tracks them all. I have trouble tracking one. The neat part about it is I am very open to certain things, but I will warn you that the one big thing I don't deal with, especially on air, I don't deal with politics and I don't deal with mainstream religion. not on a specific level. And there is a reason for that. From my end, it really boils down to this. When I'm looking at those topics, they can cause too many complications. And the one thing that I do pay attention to is what, you know, is what YouTube has to say about the rules. Because if I mess up with them, they'll turn around and cut my feet. Okay, not interested in it. So it's like I've told people, you know, like I've told people, I look at this and go, I'm quite willing to go on somebody else's stream and talk about any topic, pretty much. Okay, now I am very opinionated in some ways, but I do my best to be honest. Now, and really for me, that's easy. Tact, that's a complication. I will, much as I appreciate the offer there, Pumpkin, my son, like my youngest son, has tried to teach me Roblox. The sad part of it is, with Roblox, I literally cannot track it fast enough. So the only video game I actually play, literally the only one, is Skyrim. And I don't play that online. I have, what, I have played Horizon, but things like Roblox, like, what is it now? There's a demolition game where you chase a ball around with a car, right? That I've seen my son play a lot. And any of the COD, any of those, I don't play because I just cannot track them fast enough. The Kelsey, I actually have never heard of the game Adopt Me. Hey Jackie, how we doing? Glad you could join us. Yeah, I'm actually really happy about it. There we go, Rocket League. There we are. That's the game I was referring to. I've watched him play. He plays a lot. Myself, I really don't, because the fact is, it moves too fast for my eyes to track. You got to remember, with my eyes, especially right now, because they're getting worse, or at least my glasses are shot. The neat part about it for me, is I don't mind. I take a look at what he does. Once in a while, I'll watch my son play, or my eldest son, but I can't track it fast enough, so I just don't. One of the nice little things about it, where are we here? One of the things about it is I take a look at tech and go, tech is a wonderful thing. But here's my database, guys. Okay. I still have my database in a card file. Might give you an idea how much tech I use. San Coben, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Just a heads up. I will certainly be on air tonight with Positive Perceptions. And let me just double check. I said it earlier, but I'm going to say it again. Positive Perceptions tonight, we will be dealing with a truth behind saving. Now, this is literally the way I do it. Boy, I caught that one just a fraction ahead. In all fairness, son, I actually don't have a topic here. On a day in the office, I literally dedicate it to making certain that I can get things organized. That I can get my own. What the heck did I do with it? That I can get my own office running properly, which can be a little challenging on occasion. There we are. Uh-oh. Okay. Today it literally boiled down to I had gotten up this morning at like what time? 1 o'clock in the morning? I think it was 1 I got up. Let's see here. Yep, got up at 1. I was up for 2.5 hours. Long enough to absolutely scramble my office desk. And then I went and packed it in. So when I got on here, I took the time, cleared my desk off, to make sure I could get my office running properly. The backbone of getting your life in order. Okay. Yeah, and that's exactly what I do it, son. I've got no qualms about telling people this. I spent 20 years with a psychiatrist figuring out how my brain works. And what I found while I was with him was that I learned that if I take an hour out a day, or an hour, well, with him it was an hour every 2 or 3 days. But now I take an hour out a day to make certain that I've got the office running properly, that I've got the different plans worked out. Now, this neat little binder here, okay, I'm a dinosaur, okay? People use computers all the time, right? I don't. I use them to write. But, see here, and bring this over. I use a computer to write, but I don't actually use a computer to organize. The reality of it is, I find they short out way too often. Usually it's my fault that they do, but it's still way too often. So, in this binder, what I'm doing with it is I've got several major projects on the go. Son Cohen, I really appreciate that. You see so much negativity on this planet, so much many people saying, oh, here's what's gone wrong, here's all the things that are bad. Okay, now I've fought depression most of my life. And I'll tell you, the last 4 years was murder. Okay, so I've got the stream, Positive Perceptions, and the name was coined by actually L.A. Moon, one of my moderators. Okay, and I've got Positive Perspectives, which was my own doing. It's a free magazine that comes out every month. Okay, it comes out every month. And the one catch with it is it only goes out to people that specifically request it. But there's no negative information in it, except the bad news section of the magazine. I kid you not, the bad news section, I'm just paraphrasing at this moment, is, look, here's the bad news section. Bad things happen in this world. They absolutely do. But if you'd like to find new and exciting ways to get depressed or to get disappointed in people, go check another periodical, newspaper, news service, chat room, doesn't matter. There's lots of ways of doing it. I just don't discuss them. Okay. The one thing that I have found, the reason I don't send it out to everybody is because of the fact I'm not wasting my time with people that don't actually desire it. I don't print a hard copy, way too much wasted paper. Given today's world, the less waste we have, the better off we are, in my opinion. So the big projects I'm working on is decluttering, and that I've got each room broken down. Where are we? Then I've got the Ildebakin Chronicles, which I now have a way of solving that. Second edition Races of the World. Second edition Races of the World. I'm not giving a deadline anymore. I kept doing that, and it completely scrambled things. Okay, I kept being a disappointment to me and other people. Okay, then I've got various different ones of a booklet series called Meet the Fill in the Blank, referring to ancient races and off-worlders. Okay, so I'm working on several of those. Then I am going to be, and this is sometime in September. Maybe I should actually look that up. What do you think? Let's do this. No, that's a corn maze. That is not what I'm looking for. Oh, whoop. Um, yeah, of course not. So, since I can't find it easily, I'm just not bothering with it right now. But I do believe it's sometime in September. Oh, thank you so much, son. I really appreciate it. You know, I look at myself. I'm not, and in my opinion, I'm not anything special. I just found a way that I can get myself on track, and hopefully, I can offer people a way of getting around things. Of getting around the mistakes I made. You know, but I am so happy to see things happen here. Whoa, how you doing? Glad you could join us. I am as sore as I can get, I think. Hopefully that's as sore as I can get. But I am absolutely like I'm doing not bad. I'm finding ways to get my health back on track. You know, the reality of it is having this dedicated time where I am on air by 4 o'clock. Sometimes I get here earlier, sometimes not. But yeah, Caribou Con, I believe it's up around 108 Mile House. Spaced Out Radio is sponsoring it. I will be there in September. Okay, and I'll give you the heads up on it. I will be talking about I'll be talking live about about abductions and what can go on there. You know, but from what I gather, it's one of the I was invited. I've already confirmed I will be going. Now it's just a case of my getting up there. And yes, I will be bringing books with me. Okay, it's not going to be a real big hassle. From my standpoint, we'll figure out how to get up there. I haven't figured out entirely, but I'll piece it together. But it is several months down the road. Thing is, as I've told people, if you ever desire me to come on your stream or come to speak at a conference, I'm more than willing. I do specialize in alien races. Well, with Caribou Con, I'll be talking about what goes on during an abduction, because I've both been abducted and now I'm a contactee on a regular basis. And yes, for those of you that wonder, I question my own sanity all the time, and every time I do, I get other people calling me up and going, "Hey, the race you just described, I ran into them, and this is what I know." I don't always know the race by the same name. I just don't. But I've got a lot of information I'm sitting on. I get people sending me photographs of technology that they've come across. I take one look at it and go, "This is what it is." And one guy, he sent me a piece of equipment, not a piece of equipment. He sent me a photograph, and he says, "What did I do? And what is this?" He said, "I've taken every reading I can." I glanced at it and I wrote him back. I says, "This is what it is. Now, look for magnetic resonance." And he goes, "Why would I look for magnetic?" And I said, "Because it's communication." He says, "Well, that doesn't add up." I said, "Check it anyway." He writes me back, and all of a sudden he's all over the place because he's getting magnetic readings. Well, it's part of a massive interstellar communication and transportation grid. The thing he sent me. Now, mankind does not have the technology yet to put all this together. Okay, but what I'm planning is I am building an empire. I'm building something where most of once I'm making a net income in excess of $2,500 a month, where I don't have to rely on anybody on any government agency, where I can say this is coming in. Once I hit that point, I will be taking somewhere around, and this is one of the reasons I dug the corporate structure book out. I will be returning somewhere close to, somewhere between 70 and 80% of my net profit will be going back to the community, either through direct feed to the people that helped me build it, because I track word of mouth advertising. Okay. And, I track that on all fronts. And I'm just streamlining that now because now I'm starting to see it happen. Last year, like I was told by marketing specialists, that's what he called himself, that I need to shorten my streams and put out shorts because people don't have the attention span to listen. Well, here's the thing. I thought about it, talked it over with my wife, and here's the reality. If people don't have the concentration and the attention span to listen past a minute or two, you're not going to be changing in the direction your life is going. It takes effort. Okay. It takes effort, it takes focus. And this is one of the reasons why, when I put out the last book that just went to print, that just came out of print rather, which is called Believe in Your Success and Follow Your Dreams. I just put it to print, and now it's a case of starting to market it. Now, last year, with minimal advertising, I turned around and brought in just shy of $3,000. Now that means I was bringing in. That's a good question. If we take it was 2,800. So divided by 12. Okay, I was bringing in just over $200 a month average. Okay, which was $200 a month more than what I had. Okay, that was with virtually no advertising. Now what I'm doing is figuring out how to advertise properly, how to increase sales properly without spending a staggering amount of money. Now bear in mind, with Positive Perspective, with the magazine, I don't charge anything for it. Therefore, any donations that come in are literally that. I mean donations as in, oh, I wrote an article, I'd like to see if you will print it. Okay. The catch there is when you send it in, you've got to send me a statement stating it is your writing, okay, that you're sending in. Or if it's a piece of information, and I don't do the political, the religious thing, I just don't. Not in Positive Perspectives, because I will tell you, the one thing I found with regards to mainstream religion, and even the fringe ones, is that they all teach essentially the same thing. Unfortunately, while they're teaching it, it does seem to be a question of few people are actually following it. Now, I will tell people this is the way I am, this is what I'm doing, and this is why the self-help books I put out are targeted on what I personally am still using. Okay, now, when we talk about success, the first thing you got to realize is you got to figure out what you feel success is. Once you know that, now you start working towards it. And where are we? Oh, look at that. We're getting down to the tail end. Okay. But you got to know what success is. You got to know what the purpose is. You got to have a plan. You got to have persistence to steadily work on said plan. And you got to have the patience to see it through to the end. Because I'm telling you, odds are you didn't end up in your life the way it is overnight. I know of a few people that's literally what happened. But I also discovered there are ways that people can turn around and break such neat little addictions as, neat little addictions as drug addiction, alcohol addiction, and various other ones. Okay. And literally with no withdrawal. I know that sounds impossible because everybody says, oh, you got to go through these DDTs, through these withdrawals. I'm telling you, the programs that are out there are fabulous. I strongly recommend going to places like Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous because they do a great job in helping people cope. Okay. I simply give people a different way of looking at things. Yeah, and this is why I say, don't just take my word for it. Do your own research. Okay. By doing your own research, you'll find out whether it works for you. But if what you're doing hasn't worked, why not give a shot at something you haven't done? Okay. Now, where am I? I am down to 10 minutes here. So we are coming down to the wind down because, like I said, much as I say I'll be on air by 4 o'clock, and sometimes I get in earlier. Today I was in somewhere around 3:30, I think. Yeah, it must have been around 3:30. Okay. But I make certain I'm in here by 4 because it gives me an hour. It gives me an hour dedicated to making sure I stay on track. With that in mind, I do that. It brings things into a balance. Of course, I noticed here, like while I'm watching, I don't know how many we had. At one point, I think I saw us up to like 13 people in here at the same time. And man, I am so happy. I really am. And so grateful that, I started the day off. I started the day off when I first opened the stream today. We had 717 subscribers. We've now got 720. And honestly, I intend on building this. I'd love to have literally millions of followers. I'm not going to be playing games, okay, like streaming live stream games on air. Sorry, ain't going to happen. Tech and I just don't get along that well. And I can't track it fast enough anyway. The big difference between the self-help tools that I offer, and the self-help books that I write. Okay, the big difference between them and most of the other ones are the fact that I don't put a whole lot of here's somebody else that was successful. I don't bother giving you a bunch of examples. I go, where is your life? How is your life going now? How can you alter it in real time? Not 6 months down the road. But the moment you pick up the book and start working with it, each of them is designed so you can change your life now. Okay. Not after 8 months of work. Okay. Although 8 months of work later, your life may well be extremely different. This year is bizarre. I really should have marked down what my numbers were when I started this year to see how far we've come. But we are right now. I don't know if there's a track for it. Let's see. 02, 02, 2026. We had 717 at the beginning of the stream. We're now at 720. I intend on growing this to the point that people come on here and walk off of here feeling a little bit more uplifted. This is coming from somebody that has fought depression most of my life. Okay, been bankrupt twice. Once by creative financing, that's another word for I bent the system. And the second time because the boss bounced the paycheck and neither he nor the bank told me about it before it blew out of hand. Okay, I figured out how to bypass bankruptcy and I'm now digging my way out of it, in spite of all of what's been going on. And here's the kicker: I don't have a lot of money. I really don't. Okay, I don't have a lot of interest in it, but I am getting there. But in spite of that, I loaned an individual $50,000 on with the intention of them paying it back after a certain number of years. As it turned out, I lost my job almost almost immediately thereafter. But that person turned around and returned a lot of the information, or a lot of the money. Net result, keeping me on the fly. No, and this isn't why I say we are all connected. Okay, I only follow 3 laws. Be true to yourself first. Do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. And energy out, energy in. Okay, if you follow those 3 laws, you'll find your life runs really smoothly. Okay, and yes, we will be talking about those again in the future. Okay, they're one of these things that people have overlooked. Okay, but with that in mind, I intend on taking this to the next level. Now, on buymeacoffee.com/InnerVoiceJ, we will be adding t-shirts to the merchandise and what have you. I've got a few sayings that'll be coming up that I utilize regularly. And of course, we'll be dealing with t-shirts, probably ball caps. Now, I don't know how that's all going to pan out. I know I know a ballpark of what it's going to cost, right? And then it will be a question of making certain that I only deal with the things that, like, I will deal with the stuff where I don't have a whole lot of waste. I'm just not that interested in printing out a bunch of paper and throwing it out. This is why Positive Perspectives comes out only via email upon request. Now, with all this said, there is so much more I'm working on, but this is why I'm in here from about 4 until 5 p.m. PST. And what's happening is I'm taking that hour to ensure I stay on top of things. But with that in mind, there's a whole pile I have to do. And we are at the 5 o'clock mark here, so I will be back again tonight at 8 o'clock PST with Positive Perceptions right here, right here on YouTube. That said, until then, do take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.